What if the reason that you don't have consistent clients right now has absolutely nothing to do with how many people are following you? Now, I need you to sit with that for a second because I'm about to challenge something that a lot of you believe with your whole entire chest. You believe that if you're not booked, it's because not enough people know that you exist. So you're doing everything that you can think of to fix that. You're growing your following, you're chasing the algorithm, you're posting every single day and hoping that today's the day that something finally takes off, right? And listen, I get it. When you're staring at a follower count sitting in the low hundreds, it's easy to convince yourself that the number is the whole problem. If I just had more people watching, then I'd have more people buying, right? That's the logic. But friend, what if the number was never the problem? What if you've been solving for the wrong thing this entire time, and that's exactly why nothing that you're trying is actually working? Now stay with me for a second because by the end of this video, you're going to know the actual visibility strategy that works when your audience is small, why chasing a bigger following is quietly keeping you stuck, and the 4-part system that I teach my own clients to go from invisible to fully booked out without ever needing to go viral. So grab your notebook for this one because we're going to go deep. Hey friend, I'm Lena. I'm an MBA-trained business and marketing strategist, and I have had the privilege of helping hundreds of coaches, consultants, and service providers build real sustainable businesses online. And this is video number 4 of our Build Your Signature Offer series. So if you haven't watched the first 3 yet, I've linked them below so you can go and check those out because everything that we're building in this series stacks on itself. And trust me, you're going to get so much more out of today's video with that foundation in place. Now, if you've been here the whole time, you already know what we've been doing. We've been laying brick by brick toward building a coaching business that actually works. Not just one that looks good online, but one that actually brings in revenue. And today, we're tackling something that I think is quietly holding a lot of you back from the business that God actually called you to build. And it's this belief sitting underneath everything that you do in your marketing. It's that a small audience means small impact. Let's dig into that because I don't think that belief is true, and I think that it's costing you clients. Here's what the online business world will tell you if you let it. Build your following first, get to 10,000 followers, and then start thinking about selling. Go live every day, post 3 times a day, collab with bigger accounts, stay consistent, and eventually the clients will come, right? On the surface, that advice sounds reasonable. More eyes means more buyers, right? Except that's not actually how this thing works. And I know that because I have personally watched coaches with 50,000 followers struggle to fill a single program. I've sat with them on strategy calls. I've watched their content perform beautifully. I've watched the comments roll in, and I've watched their calendars stay completely empty. And then on the flip side, I've helped coaches with a few hundred followers generate 5 figures in sales in a matter of weeks. The difference has nothing to do with the audience size. It has everything to do with the quality of their targeting, the clarity of their message, and whether they have an actual system turning the right people into paying clients. Hey friend, I want to take a quick pause from this conversation because there are 2 things that I want to share with you. First, did you know that about 75% of the people who watch this channel aren't subscribed yet? So there's a really good chance that you might be one of them. And listen, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for letting me pour into you. It literally means the world to me. And if you've been finding value in these videos, would you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button? It helps this content to reach more women who are called to build purpose-driven businesses, and I would be so grateful if you would do that. Now, the second thing is this, and I'm speaking to the women who are called to business. You're called to the marketplace, but you're struggling to get clients into your business. I want to invite you to go a little bit deeper with me, because here's what I know about the woman who's sitting right where you are right now. You are not lacking talent. You're not lacking passion to help people either. What you are lacking is a predictable way to turn all of that into paying clients consistently without burning yourself out trying to figure it out alone. Listen, I know you're already doing all the things. You're posting, you're showing up, you're putting in the work, but the results just aren't there. So I put together a free masterclass where I show you the 4-part client attraction strategy that 6- and 7-figure businesses use to attract a consistent flow of leads and clients. And this works even if you're brand new or your audience is still small. And by the end, you're going to know exactly how to build that system into your own business so that you can bring in a consistent flow of leads and clients for yourself. So no more random posting, no more wondering if this is the month that is finally going to click. Just a clear, repeatable system that actually works. The masterclass is available exclusively inside of my school community. And the link to grab your free spot is in the description below. So register, show up, and let me show you what's possible for your business. All right, now let's get back into the conversation. Now, here's the real problem with the whole grow your audience first idea, and I need you to hear this clearly. That advice assumes visibility equals readiness. It assumes that if you can just get more eyeballs on your content, everything else is going to sort itself out. But visibility without a clear offer, without a clear message that speaks directly to the person that you're actually called to serve, without a system that captures and nurtures the leads that you do get, it's just noise. Loud, expensive, exhausting noise. You can be very visible and still have an empty calendar. I've watched it happen more times than I can count. And here's the part that really gets me. For a lot of you, this whole bigger audience pressure isn't just marketing frustration. It's spiritually discouraging. You know that you're called. You know that the work that you do changes people's lives. But you keep staring at that follower count, wondering if maybe God got it wrong. Maybe he called you to something that you're not actually equipped for. Can I tell you something? He didn't get it wrong. But the strategy that you've been using might not be built for the calling that you're carrying. Now, I want to slow down here for a second because before we get into the strategy, I want to talk about the belief underneath the belief. A lot of us were taught, whether directly or just by absorbing it from culture around us, that bigger is better. That impact is measured in numbers, more followers, more downloads, more people in the room. And when you quietly measure your calling against a number, and that number is small, it starts to feel like evidence that you are not doing it right. Evidence that maybe you're not who you thought you were. Maybe you're not cut out for this. But friend, stewardship was never about the size of the crowd. It was always about faithfulness with what's actually in front of you. The parable isn't about the servant with the biggest portfolio. It's about the one who was faithful with what he was given and multiplied it right where he stood. I say that because I need the anxiety out of your body before we build anything. Anxious marketing is bad marketing, point blank period. Confident marketing to the right 10 people will outperform panicked marketing to the wrong 10,000 people every single time. So let's get into building this strategy now that your nervous system is safe. Okay? Now, if growing your audience isn't the move, then what is? I'm going to walk you through the exact visibility strategy that I teach inside of my programs, and it's built on one core idea. Reach fewer people better. And to make this practical instead of just theoretical, I'm going to use one example the entire way through. So let's say that you are a relationship coach. You help women who've gone through a painful divorce step into a new season with confidence and clarity about love. That's your person. That's your calling. And right now you've got maybe 400 followers on Instagram, and you are genuinely wondering if that's even enough to build a real business on. Let's walk through what this framework looks like for you step by step. Now, step number 1, stop broadcasting and start targeting. Most coaches are creating content and just throwing it out into the world, hoping that the right person happens to stumble across it. That's broadcasting, and broadcasting is exhausting because you're always creating, you're always posting, you're always trying to stay relevant, and you genuinely never know if the right person is even seeing it. Now, targeting is different. Targeting means that you get intentional about putting your message in front of the specific person that you were called to serve. This is exactly why I'm such a strong believer in paid ads, even for coaches who are just getting started. A well-placed Facebook or Instagram ad can put your content in front of your exact ideal client in a matter of days, in a way that organic content might not manage to do in years. Here's why this works when broadcasting doesn't. The platform's job is to show your content to whoever engages with it, which is often the people who already know you, not necessarily the people who need you. Now, targeting flips that whole situation around. You're not waiting to be discovered. You are choosing exactly who sees you. So for our relationship coach, instead of posting a generic quote about healing and hoping that a recently divorced woman happens to scroll past it, she runs a small targeted ad. She can target women between 35 and 55 who've recently gone through a life transition, who follow pages related to divorce recovery or single parenting or emotional wellness. Now, her message isn't just floating around in the general feed hoping to be found. It's landing directly in front of the woman who needs it the most. And now, before you tell me that you can't afford ads, let me stop you right there. My client Gabby invested $300 in ads and generated $16,000 in sales in 2 weeks. This is not about spending a lot, it's about spending on purpose. Okay? Now, quick gut check before we move on. Ask yourself this right now. Is my content trying to reach everyone, or is it trying to reach someone? If you can't answer that question in one sentence, that is priority number 1 for you. You need to nail down your person and you need to hone in your messaging. Now, step number 2, build a small, warm audience instead of a large, cold one. When I say warm, I mean people who've already interacted with you. They've watched your videos, they've opened your emails, they've clicked on your posts. There's already some level of trust sitting there, and trust converts way faster than visibility ever will. One strategy that I walk my clients through is what I call a low-cost lead magnet ad. You create something free, something that's genuinely valuable for your ideal client. It could be something like a checklist, a mini training, a guide, or something along those lines. And you run a small ad putting that offer in front of the right people. And in doing so, you have done 2 things. First, you have grown your email list with people who are already interested in exactly what you do, and you spent almost nothing doing it. Now, for our relationship coach, this might look like a free guide called something like 5 Things That No One Tells You About Dating After Divorce. She creates it once, she runs a small ad putting it in front of recently divorced women in her targeted age range. Those women opt in with their email to get the free guide. And just like that, she has a list of warm leads who have already told her simply by downloading it that they are dealing with exactly what she helps with. My client Sierra was getting qualified leads for under $2 each using this exact strategy. Under $2. That is how you build a warm audience quickly without waiting years for organic growth to maybe get around to it someday. Now, here's the thing that nobody wants to say out loud. You are not competing with coaches who have bigger audiences. You are competing for the attention of one specific person. And that person is not sitting on Instagram thinking, let me go out and hire the coach with the most followers. No, she's sitting there with a very specific problem, a very specific desire, looking for whoever speaks directly to that. That's it. That is your entire competitive advantage. Not your follower count, not your posting frequency, just clarity of your message and the precision of who you're putting it in front of. So instead of asking, how do I get more followers? Start asking, how do I get my message in front of the exact person that I'm called to serve? That one question is going to change how you market your business more than any growth hack ever could. Now, this is where I watch a lot of coaches lose everything that they've just worked for. They get someone interested and then they have no follow-up plan. No way to stay in front of that lead, no bridge between the first interaction and the sales call, so the lead goes cold and then they're back at square one wondering why nothing is converting. What you need is an automated nurture sequence. It's a series of emails that goes out to every single new lead, and then it walks them through your story, your method, and the transformation that you offer. Now, this sequence runs in the background 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether you're coaching, whether you're resting, or whether you're on vacation for that matter. And by the time that person is ready to buy, they already feel like they know you, they trust you, and they're walking into that sales call pre-sold. Now, back to our relationship coach. After someone downloads her guide, she automatically receives a short sequence over the next several days. The first email delivers the guide and shares a piece of her story. Maybe she went through her own divorce and rebuilt her own confidence in life from the ground up. The second email names one of her ideal clients' biggest fears. It might say something like, I'm afraid that I've waited too long and now it's too late for me to find love again. The third email introduces her coaching offer and shares a client story. And by the time that woman has read 3 or 4 of those emails, she doesn't feel like she's on a stranger's list. She feels like she's found her person. And that is when she books the call. This is one of the core things that we built together inside of the CEO Society, by the way. We set up the entire system side by side, the lead magnet, the ad, the nurture sequence, so that you have something running in the background that actually works without requiring you to live on your phone 24/7 or be on Instagram all day. Now, I want to go a little bit deeper here because I think there's a version of this whole small audience struggle that isn't about marketing at all. It's about trust. Deep down, some of you are asking, did I hear God correctly? Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? And when the clients aren't coming in and the following isn't growing, it starts to feel like confirmation that maybe you got it wrong. And I want to offer a different read on that season. What if the slow season isn't a sign that you missed your calling? What if it's the training ground where God is building your strategy? He's building your confidence and your foundation, all before he expands your platform. Listen, I've watched too many women quit right before the breakthrough. They were so close and then they just gave up. They didn't need a bigger stage. They needed the right system. Your calling does not require a massive audience. It requires obedience. It requires clarity and the right tools to reach the specific people that you were called to serve. Okay? Now, step number 4, show up with specificity, not just frequency. Now, I know somebody's watching this and they're thinking, okay, but Lena, what do I actually post? And the answer is not more. The answer is more specific. Content that converts does not have to go up every single day, but it does have to speak directly to the person that you're calling in. What is their biggest fear right now? Like today, what have they already tried that didn't work? What do they secretly wish somebody would just tell them the truth about? Now, for our relationship coach, instead of a general caption about learning to love yourself, she might post something like, if you've ever canceled plans because you didn't want to show up somewhere alone after your divorce, this is for you. That one line does something that 100 motivational quotes never could. It makes the right woman stop scrolling and think, oh my God, she's talking to me. Now, here's a quick test that you can run on anything that you're about to post. Read it out loud to yourself and ask, could literally any coach in my industry have written this? If the answer is yes, it's too broad and it's not going to pull in the right person. If the answer is no, if it could have only come from you speaking directly to that person, that's the post that builds your business. That is the content that pulls people into your world. Not volume, not viral moments, specificity. Now, let me walk you through how this actually played out with a real client, because I don't want you sitting there thinking that this is just theoretical. Okay? When Gabby came to me, she had what you'd consider a modest following. She has a genuine gift for coaching though, but she also had a deep fear that spending money on ads was going to be money that she would never see again. On top of that, she was posting consistently for months. She was showing up. She was doing everything that the free content told her to do, and yet her calendar was still mostly empty. We did not grow her audience first. We did not tell her to go and get 10,000 followers before she was allowed to sell anything. We sat down and we got specific about exactly who she serves and exactly what that person is afraid of, what they're thinking about, what they're searching for at 11 at night when they can't sleep. And then we built a simple targeted ad pointed directly at that person specifically with a message that only that person would feel seen by. $300 in ad spend, 2 weeks, $16,000 in sales. Now, mind you, her following didn't change during that stretch. What changed was that her message stopped being for everyone and started being for someone. That's the whole shift, and that's what I want for you. Now, before we wrap this up, let's clear out a few myths that I want you to walk away from this video without. Now, myth number 1, you need a certain follower count before you're allowed to sell. No, you don't. Selling readiness has nothing to do with audience size and everything to do with the message clarity and having a system in place. Myth number 2, posting more is always the answer when things feel slow. Sometimes posting more just means creating more noise faster with the same unclear message. More noise does not fix an unclear message. It amplifies it. Okay? Now, myth number 3, ads are only for coaches who already have money to burn. Gabby's $300 says otherwise. Ads are a tool for precision, not a luxury for those who are already established. And myth number 4, a slow season is proof that you misheard your calling. It's actually proof that you're still building the foundation. So don't confuse construction with confirmation that you got it wrong. So here's what I want you to walk away with. 4 steps. Stop broadcasting and start targeting the specific person that you're called to. Build a small, warm audience instead of chasing a large, cold one. Let a nurture system build the trust in the background so that you're not doing it all live, one DM at a time. And show up with specificity instead of just frequency so that the right person stops scrolling and feels like you wrote that post directly for them. Listen, you do not need thousands of followers to build a coaching business that actually generates revenue. You need the right strategy, the right message, and a system to reach your specific person consistently. That's it. That is the whole game. And if you remember nothing else from today, remember this: Visibility was never the goal. It was only ever supposed to be the vehicle. The goal is the right person that you were called to serve, finding you, trusting you, and saying yes. And you can build that with 400 followers just as surely as someone else builds it with 400,000 followers. The size of the net was never the point. The precision of the net was the point. Now, if this stirred something in you, I don't want you to just close this video out and go back to posting and hoping. I want you to actually take the next step. Come join us inside of the CEO Society. It's a free community on School where you get access to the full 4-part client attraction strategy and discover exactly how to generate a consistent flow of leads and clients so that you're not trying to piece this all together from a 15-20 minute YouTube video. The link is right there in the description. Come join us, come find your people, and come build the system that your calling actually deserves. And now, if this video helped you see your small audience a little bit differently, do me a favor and send it to someone else who you know is stuck in this whole comparison spiral. They probably need to hear this just like you did. And if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe because next week we're going to go deeper into the foundation of your business. Video number 5 is all about turning your expertise into a premium signature coaching offer, one that reflects your unique method, attracts your ideal clients, and commands pricing that actually honors what you deliver. Trust me, you don't want to miss that one. All right, that's all for now. I truly hope that you learned something. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.